Welcome to Board Gaming with Austin. Today I'm going to be giving you a detailed rules video and how to play on First Contact by Cosmodrome Games. It plays in 40 minutes for 2 to 7 players. It is for ages, any age in my opinion. All you need to get playing this and to play it is people who understand how to add characteristics and words to pictures. So let's get straight to it. We're going to start off by explaining some components to you, and then we're going to be setting up the board. So we have the alien language boards. So that's going to be that 5x5 blue cardboard piece right there. There's going to be the alien assignment cards, which is going to be this piece right here. And when you're assigning one to an alien, you actually place it randomly on this little gray piece right here. Then you're going to have the alien drawing board, which is under that. It's that big cardboard piece right there with 2 people on each side of it. You're going to have alien benevolence tokens, which are those colored tokens. You're going to have the alien screen, which is that blue screen. And you're going to have the earthling screen, which is that screen right there. The earthling note boards is going to be well, let's start with earthling offering boards, which is that little one on the left side there to make offers. And then you're going to have the earthling note boards, which is that thing right there for them to write you to write your notes of the symbols on it. Then you're going to have the earthling screens, like I already mentioned. You're going to have some markers. I actually left the markers out over there. And then you're going to have the item cards, which is set up for a game right here. So for a 2-player game, you actually sit across from each other. This person over here, this person over here. And one of you decides to be aliens, the other person decides to be humans. You can decide that however you want. But I would recommend to do both before you decide whether you do or don't like this game. I started as a human. I hated it. I loved being an alien. So do both of them. All right. So first, it does say that you can start out with a handicap in this game, but I'll get to that. So first, you sit opposite each other. You want to shuffle the cards and place them down like this in a 5x5 square. It doesn't matter which side you choose. You want them to be random, and the words actually are flipped both ways so both people can read them across from each other. The book gives you directions for how to set up a 4 to 7 player game. This is actually going to be specifically for 2 players. I'm going to show you how to do it for a 2-player game. So, the back of the directions actually state to give the alien the red, blue, and green benevolence tokens, and then they take 9 of the red tokens and place them in a line right in front of them. So I laid it out like this so you can see it, but these screens would be off in opposite directions, so no one sees what the other person sees. So these red tokens, you take 9 of them and set them in a row like this. These resemble rounds. So there's going to be 9 rounds in a 2-player game. At the end of every round, or at the beginning of the next round, you remove one of those tokens. When there's no more tokens, it's the end of the game. Or it's the end of the game when all 8 of the aliens, items have been received. I'm not going to give you directions on how to prepare for a 4 to 7 player game, but if you're following the directions, you follow along with the 4 to 7 player setup and then add in the 2-player information. So the alien takes 1 random alien assignment card, which is what we did here. And I placed it on the table so you can see better. They insert it into the card stand, which is this right here. You just want to stand that up so that when you're looking at it, the top row here resembles the top row here. The bottom row here resembles the bottom row here. The right side, left side, left side. So if you're trying to get to this green square, you're going to be going 1, 2, 3 in, just like 1, 2, 3. The alien hides that behind their screen. On a 2-player game, they specifically use the B side because they have to get all 8 of those green items that they're trying to get. That is one of the changes. The directions say use for a 4 to 7 player game, use A side or B side. You want to specifically use B for a 2-player game. The alien team also takes one random alien language board, which is this thing right here, this little board on top. That little board is all the boards have the same words on them, but they have different symbols for each word. And each side of the board has the same words, just different symbols for each word as well. You're going to take the alien screen, that drawing board, and a marker. Each person's going to get a marker. Now, the person on the Earthlings team, again, there's only going to be one Earthling. And sorry, I actually messed this up. The alien takes these in the 9 tokens in front of them. So that it looks like that. All right. And then you decide who goes first, well, in this scenario, the Earthlings are going to go first because that's how you do a round. So now, again, back to the handicap, it says, oh, the humans take all the stuff that you see right there. So you can start with the 0 turn, which means the Earthling can ask the alien, and the alien can ask the Earthling for information on 1 or 2 symbols. So the Earthling can say, all right, what's the symbol for, and they can choose the most difficult symbol so that they can immediately get 1 symbol right away. What's the symbol for liquid, or what's the symbol for knowledge? You could go with, things that aren't physical and tangible, like knowledge. You can do, what else? You can do round or close. Valuable is a good one. All right. Now, after you look at those directions, at the back of the book, it gives you specific directions for 2 to 3 player game, and I kind of already gave you some of them. But it says, the goal of the Earthlings is the same as in the regular mode, to obtain as many benevolence tokens as possible by correctly guessing items. If there are 2 Earthlings, the one with the most benevolence tokens wins, because these are directions for a 2 to 3 player game. I played it as a 2-player game. The alien's goal is to collect 8 items marked in green on their assignment card before they run out of red benevolence tokens. Each round, the alien must discard 1 token in front of them. If the Earthlings offer the alien an item marked in black on their assignment card, then you must also discard an extra red token in front of yourself. Every single turn, the Earthling can make 2 guesses for a 2-player game instead of the regular 1 guess for a 1-player or for a 4 to 7 player game. The Earthling has to guess at least once. They have to make at least 1 guess on their turn. The directions don't specify that, but you have to make at least 1 guess. And you can, if you want, but you don't necessarily have to, make 2 guesses if you want as an Earthling. You can do those separately as well, and I'll get to how the turn goes. But you can make your first guess and then go back and then make your second guess. And when you're making guesses or trying to get guess items, and I'll go into this more as well, but you can actually guess the item that they're looking for then and there. You can guess the item that they wanted to look for in the past, but you didn't get right, or you can guess a future item that they haven't asked you about. And then the game kind of specifies that you can't talk about characteristics or specify the location of stuff, but you are able to talk to each other. And I would actually personally recommend that you are like kind of doing charades, because this game is supposed to be 2 people, civilizations, species, discussing, trying to communicate with each other. And it's kind of reminiscent of my experience in Japan, where I didn't know how to speak Japanese, but I was sitting there kind of like doing charades and pointing stuff out and like dancing around, and you can do stuff like that. In my opinion, the game says you can't, or the game doesn't specify whether you can or can't do charades. I think it would make it a little more fun, but you can say stuff like, that wasn't the item I was looking for this time. It was something I was looking for in the past. Because, you wouldn't know otherwise what symbols that they were trying to look for then. Or, you get really confused what they were looking for. All right, so the end of the game. The game is over when either of these two things happen in a 2-player game, 2 or 3-player game. The alien has collected all 8 of the required items on this thing, or the alien has discarded all of those red tokens. All right, so let's run through a turn. A turn begins with the Earthlings. The Earthlings are going to look at the table, and they're going to look at their yellow cardboard sheet here. They have all of these words that they have to try to get the symbols for. They're going to learn. They're trying to learn what these symbols are in the alien's tongue. So they might look at this and see, and then look at the table and see there are, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a knife, scroll, mouse, stylus, warrior, pitcher, whip, axe, cat, chair. So you're going to look at these, and maybe they're trying to get you to guess. You're trying to figure out the word alive, what symbol that is. So you've turned the cards to the side. You leave the cards on the table, but you turn them to the side for the symbol you're trying to find. So if you're trying to find the word alive, you flip over, turn all the animals that are alive, or things that are alive, around. And you don't want to just stop with some of them. You can flip between 1 and 5 cards, and you want to use as much as you can. You don't want to just flip the mouse and the cat and then make them think that it's an animal, or it's rivalry or something. You want to flip the mouse, the cat, the turtle, and the warrior, because they're all living beings. Maybe you even want to flip the bulrush here. There's a bulrush plant, and you can flip 1 to 5 cards like that sideways, and the alien, the other player, is supposed to look at those and guess what word you're trying to get them to tell you. So then they look at their little sheet, and they think that you're trying to say alive. So they write this symbol here on their board right there with that marker. They are never allowed to show you this. They're never allowed to show you that. They can only show you what's written on that board. When they show you what's written on the board, you guys can't discuss any information. You just simply write the symbol on the alive spot, hoping that they understood what you were trying to find. Then, at the end of your turn, Earthling, you turn this sideways back to its regular orientation. That's the end of the first Earthling turn. Then it's the alien's turn. After the aliens, that's the end of 1 round. And then you do that over and over again until you run out of red tokens. Now, the aliens, what they do is they're trying to get these items right here. So they're trying to get these top right 3 items here. So they're trying to guess mouse, stylus, and warrior. So in that situation, they just guessed, gave you the symbol. You just found out that they wanted to know the word for alive, or the symbol for alive. So now you need to use that information to your advantage. They now know, at least to the best of your knowledge, what the symbol for alive is. The symbol for alive is this. I'm an artist. So now maybe you're trying to get them to guess this one right here, the mouse. So now what the alien tries to do is write symbols on this board. They can write as many symbols as they want, but they can only get the humans to guess 1 item per turn. Now, if the Earthling, because they get in a 2 and 3 player game, they get 2 guesses. So if they continue to guess, that's all on them. And if they get them right both times, then they get the points both times. So this person, this alien, is trying to get the Earthling to say mouse. So they write that symbol and show the human. The human looks at that. They just figured out that alive is that symbol. So they say, they write on their little offerings board that they want to offer the aliens the mouse. So this little offer board has a yellow side on one side and a blue side on the other. And it's always going to be positioned with the blue facing the alien and the yellow facing the human. So like this, because they're looking at the boards, you know, the humans will be looking at it like this, where at the top right here, warrior, is this spot right here. So the human looks at the board and goes, where's mouse? Mouse is right here. So I want to offer the mouse to the alien because I think that's what they're looking for. The alien, again, there's not really much language communication here. The human puts this out. The aliens never see this board, and they never, actually that's about it. But they see this offering. You put this out for them to see. They see this. They look at the board. They see that you wanted to, as the human, give the aliens a mouse. They look at their assignment sheet and they say, yep, it's green. I wanted the mouse. Perfect. So the alien then puts this green token on that spot. Whether the item was guessed correctly or incorrectly, the green token goes on the spot. Now, since they guessed it correctly, the human gets this blue token. And then the human has a chance to guess again. Let's say the human guessed alive. They guessed sheep. So the sheep on the alien spot, so the humans would mark sheep here, put it out there for the aliens to see. The aliens would correlate it to their sheet and notice that it's a blue spot there. So they put the green token on the sheep. They shake their head, say sorry in their language, and then the humans don't get the blue token, but nothing else happens. Now it's the end of the round. At the end of the round, the alien removes one of the red tokens back to the supply. The rest of the red tokens are off in a supply all by themselves. They don't get used. And then the rounds start all over again. Now let's say for some reason in that situation the human didn't know what alive was or the symbol was wrong. Let's say that they made an offering of the knife in the top left here. They put the X there where the knife is. They put this out for the aliens to see. The aliens have a black spot where the knife is. Because of that, in the 2-3 player game rules, the alien takes one of these green tokens and places it on the knife, and then they remove a red token because it was a black space. That's why you got to also kind of be careful and you're not over guessing, because if you're landing on these black spaces, you're going to lose more red tokens. And remember, you only get 9 rounds to guess 8 items correctly. So you want to make sure you're saving as many of your guesses as you can. Now, I would recommend not to over explain or overuse symbols to other people, the humans, because they're learning one symbol at a time. So if you're giving them 4 or 5 symbols to learn a word, to explain a word or an item on the board, then they're going to not have any clue what you're trying to explain to them. And I just want to make sure. So there is ways, technically, like you lose if you only get 0 to 3 items correct throughout the game before the red chips are up. But you can win at 4 to 5, 6 to 7, and 8, and you win at varying degrees. So it's not like you just completely suck, you're horrible. It is like you still won. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. There's technically some type of player aid inside of the alien sheet here. these green chips here. These green chips, you put them on the board because they're actually just kind of there to like show that the alien has either, like, the humans have already guessed those items, the mouse, the sheep, and the knife, and then the humans are keeping track on their offer sheet that they've guessed those as well. And then the aliens are supposed to be over here with this sheet, and not supposed to, but they can mark off the names, the words that they guessed already, so that they can use those words when explaining stuff to the humans. And then the humans are writing their stuff here. And if a word comes up, like I tried to use the word alive and round to explain a pig. Well, I know what alive is, but I don't know what round is. So I would put it down here, alive and round equals question mark. I know what alive is, but what's the other one? If it pops up again in the future, you might know what it is. All right, yeah. If you have any questions, I didn't explain something, let me know in the comments, and I'll make sure to get to it. But the game goes back and forth like that until the chips are ran out, and you don't have anything else to do. And then you guys either celebrate or not. And then I would recommend switching places because the game needs to be played both ways.